Hello everybody, Scrap Rampage 11 here, and today we're back with another Cobi review. Today we are going to review the Panzer VIII Maus. The Panzer VIII Maus was a German super heavy tank designed to turn the tide of World War II. It used Ferdinand Porsche's innovative but frankly terrible diesel-electric drive system, and it came with an assortment of armaments such as a 120mm gun and a 75mm gun, and also a machine gun. The tank weighed 188 metric tons, which was about 414,469 pounds. It had an armor of 122mm maximum, and it had a speed of 20 kilometers an hour, which is about 12.4 miles per hour. The Maus had a crew of 6, including a commander, a gunner, a driver, a radio operator, and 2 loaders. There were some drawbacks to the Maus though. First of all, its speed. As you heard before, the speed is about 12.4 miles an hour. So that's really slow. So if I were to drive the Maus on the freeway in the US, which the speed limit is about 55 miles per hour, I would get a ticket just because I was driving so slow. Frankly though, if I was driving a 200-ton tank down the road, I think I'd be pulled over and given a ticket anyways. Here's the next drawback: weight. Now imagine yourself, you're a German soldier in your Maus, tooting along in the Soviet fields, trying to get to the front lines. So you're tooting along, and then you encounter a mud field. So you try to go into the mud, and then your tank just sinks into the mud. That's how inefficient the tank was. It sank into the mud, and it couldn't get itself back out. Let's say you, for some reason, get it out of the mud, which is probably not high chances of doing that, and you make yourself to a river. Well, in the normal tank, you just find a bridge and take it across. But the issue with the Maus is it weighs 200 tons. So if you tried to go over a bridge with that tank, one, the bridge would be too narrow, so you wouldn't be able to go over it. Second of all, you would break the bridge. The bridge is weak enough, and you're heavy enough to break the bridge. So what the Maus designers had to do is they had to build a snorkel for the tank just so it can go underwater. Now let's get on to the actual model. So the Maus only comes in the Cobi World of Tanks line, which means that it only comes with one minifig. As you can see, it's a German tank commander with some binoculars and a hammer. He has the normal German tank commander print, focus? Yeah, there we go. Normal German tank commander print in the front, and no print in the rear. So we're gonna put him aside. And now let's get on to the tank. First of all, let's see how big this tank really is. So if we see, we have our minifig. He's standing right there, right in front of the Maus. You can see that the Maus is way bigger than the minifig. If we bring the Valentine tank from the last video, we can see that if we put the Valentine tank on top of the turret, you can see that the turret is actually about the same size as the Valentine tank, just the turret alone. And so, yeah, pretty much that is literally how big it is. It is so big, the turret is the size of a Valentine light tank. Anyways, here's my hand. My hand's pretty big, so it's normal sized hand, I guess. And that's hand scale with the tank. Okay, now let's start with the front of the tank. So as we can see, there is headlights, 2 headlights at the front with the sloped frontal armor. There is a print right here, which is supposed to indicate a weld mark. We have 2 tow line grabby hooks, and then we have the track guards. If we look near the top, we move the turret out of the way. We can see that there is this small pointy thing at the top, which is a shock guard. So if an enemy tank were to shoot at this, it would guard the electric motor ventilation behind it. In the front, there's a hatch right here, and there's some periscopes dotted around the front of the tank. If we move to the front bottom, we can see that it's mainly black, and there are the set of the extra wide Cobi tracks, which we will get to in a second. So let's talk about tracks. Here is the average Cobi wide track, and this is the Cobi extra wide track, which is a little bigger than the wide track, as you can see. So the wide track is used on all the Cobi heavy tanks and some of the medium tanks, such as the KB series, the Panzer IV, and the Tiger II. And this is the wide track used on the mouse, which gives it extra effect and allows you to build the mouse a little larger and more to scale with the other tanks. Here we are on the very bland side of the tank. As you can see, the track goes from one side of the tank, from the front to the back, as you would expect. As we can see in the front, there's interleaved road wheels with tires, so if you're building your Cobi and you don't like putting on tires, this might not be the Cobi build for you. There's some axle detailing, and there's this big plate, side plate, which is for armor protection. And then there's some grills on the top and some extra details. As we see the rear of the tank, you can just see the wider tracks gives us a good idea of what these wider tracks look like. They're about 4 studs wide. Then if we look here, we have these fuel tanks in the back, and then we have the small trailer hook, and then we have another, either that's an exhaust port or a, I would say like a light. And then we have on the back, we have the diesel engine exhaust in the back. So using Porsche's diesel electric system, there will be some electric motors in the front, and then there will be some diesel motors in the back, which would power the wheels. Here is the turret. As you can see, I removed it from the hole so we can get a better view of the turret. As we look on the side, we can see the German Army insignia. We can see the hatches and the different periscopes. This periscope is actually printed, so if we moved there, you can see the printed periscope design. Also has some extra details like, I guess this is either a pistol port or just another extra detail for ventilation or something like that. As we can see in the front, they have slopes on either side, and then we have the main armament, which the gun mantlet goes up and down. We can see that the small 75mm gun is Cobi's usual 75/76mm gun. And we can see that the 128mm gun is actually Cobi's largest gun piece, which you can see a little bit at the base of each barrel in like the Hummel, the Tiger I, and the Tiger II. Here we've turned the hull on its side so the top is facing towards us. We can see this is the turret mounting system, which is different than the usual Cobi turret mounting system, which is usually a connector pin or a kind of the same type of pin that they use for the wheels. As you can see, this is just actually one of these, the larger Cobi wheels that has the axle. That's for the axle that actually is kind of looks like my pointer. So it has these little, it's a cross axle. So actually I can stick my pointer in there. Anyways, if we look at the bottom of the turret, we can see that it has this axle that spins around freely. So what this does is that if we flip the hull back up and we put the turret on, it should line up correctly. There we go, and we push it down, then the hull is secured onto the turret, or I should say the turret is secured onto the hull. And you can spin it around. Like, you can really spin it around, like, really, really easily. It actually is, like, the easiest to spin around. It's like a fidget spinner. Yeah. Spin around. I recommend this tank for both play and display. Mainly because to display, it looks very nice. It's very shiny, as you can see in this area. So it's very shiny and sleek and smooth tank design that you can easily display, and just its size will definitely catch the attention of guests or other people you're displaying it to. Also, I would recommend it for play because the tracks has all these playable functions, such as the tracks, which run really well. You can see the tracks run really well, and then, you know, the turret turns 360 degrees and goes up and down. Gun goes up and down. Also, since it's World of Tanks, it has a World of Tanks bonus code, which you can use if you play in the EU server or the Russian server. So if you play in the American server or the North American server or the Latin servers, sucks for you. We can't play it in the, so anyways, with that, that's pretty much it. You know, recommend it for play and display, and yeah, that's good. Want to see more Cobi review videos, then remember to like and subscribe. If you dislike the video, then please tell me why in the comments, and I'll try my best to fix it. And with that, bye!